possibility. Efforts when it comes to focusing through strategic entry points that can advance the status of women by catalyzing the wide range long-term impacts. Every woman is as equal to a man and has an equal right in decision making, because every decision which is taken has an impact on her life too. And when women come into this role of decision making, proper understanding of the issues faced and proper action with regards to policies to be made will be made in a conducive manner. Support is provided to equip women to translate the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, now ratified by the majority of the world's governments, into legal guarantees of gender equality, which the UN is working towards. It's one of the important SDGs. Again, we have to understand the legal guarantees of gender equality here and the strategy through which we can work with multiple stakeholders like women organizations, the governments, the UN systems, and the private sector to bring women into government, train women leaders, and boost women's skills to actively participate in elections as candidates and voters. Again, in India, we have got 20% reservation for women, but we find only 10.5% in the public governance. Why is it leading to this? Most of the people understand that women have a different mindset. They have a different leadership quality. Their political understanding with the communities is active and reciprocal. And when they come into the participation, into the governance system, they will have a whole new transformative mindset towards the issues that women face. And to understand the contribution of the benefits to the rural communities, especially in India, we have to see this gender mainstreaming in nation building is very, very important. If that is done, probably we will see that the government planning, program, policy development, and budget allocation will respond better to the socio-economic situations, the needs and rights of women in each and every country, and especially in India, because I am closely connected to this particular scene, what we see on an everyday basis. I would say people should see as a major breakthrough in political systems if we have more women contributing to the same. How can we bring women into the mainstream is a big question. Often we see that there are a number of people, women, who would like to come in or may not want to come in. There are two aspects to it. The world's largest democracy, India, coming to our country, I would say that the biggest problem here is lack of representation of women in our political system. I would like to throw up this awareness to all our viewers that the biggest problem that we are facing in our system is only because of women's lack of representation in Indian politics and public governance. India, the largest democracy, it keeps having its elections, but we see that the gender discrimination is not coming closer. The disparity is increasing. And there is no dearth of women workers also in India's major political parties, if we are able to bring them, because often women are sidelined. Their voice is not taken as something to be paid attention to. And that is why this 20% representation, though brought up by the Constitution, is not being taken into consideration, is not being filled in. And we still have a gap of 9.5% still to be filled in. And the next aspect is the failing goes beyond politics to community attitudes. A patriarchal mindset is still evident, and derogatory comments about women in politics are rife on social media. We also have to look at how journalism is taking up this role of understanding women in politics. Indian failure on women's representation in politics isn't always appreciated internationally, but because of a handful of high-profile women leaders commanding the headlines, we are still able to hold on the prestige of women globally. Now, it is not to do just with the corporate leadership. We also want women in our governance system, in our political leadership. And that is where we need to understand that various aspects of life which cannot be handled on a regular basis in the way the system wants it to do can only be managed when the male-female ratio as to what they have decided is being filled in. If we have to look at the poor record of women's representation, it's revealed even by the World Economic Forum about the gender gap in the Index 2021, which it has slipped by 28 places, ranking 140 amongst 156 countries. India is the third worst performer in, I could say, in this particular area, especially if you compare it with South Asia. It's only ahead of Pakistan and Afghanistan. It is still behind Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and the Bhutan. Just imagine this world's biggest democracy is ranking so badly. The biggest slump is in the political empowerment sub-index, where India ranks 51, dropping from the past 18 years. The Women Reservation Bill also seeks the amend and constitution to set aside women 1/3 of all seats in the Lok Sabha. But India's lower house, as well as in the state legislature, we see that the bill has languished despite passing the Rajya Sabha. India's upper house in 2010, a delay described one study which also showed lack of seriousness among political parties in taking better account of women's increasing electoral participation. The failing goes beyond politics. Again, I say it is all about community attitude. And if this community attitude does not change, if the attitude of equality doesn't change in families, how can we think about a change in the community? How can we look at a change in the nation? And if we cannot start from our own homes, we will not be any better than what we are right now. Again, thanks to the present government, we are seeing that women have taken very, very important portfolios, especially finance. And they have rendered a beautiful job. So when one woman can do it, why can't she be supported by the many other women? Why should only a handful of women be getting that particular prestige, that particular position, that particular ability to voice out their thoughts and awaken the country to the equal government, equal policy, equal leadership? Again, there is a very big important aspect which we need to look at is build a stronger nation by awakening the women to a stronger position. And that can only be possible when women are given a platform to speak. And this platform can be no better than having the ability to address the nation, to take leadership, and not just sit and look at the system blaming it. Women, who are the backbone of every family, definitely can make the back and the bones of the nation stronger, more flexible, more adaptable, more development, more growth, and finally lead to a nation which is going to see the stars, the moon, all that happening with the power which she awakens within her. It's rightly said that when there is a Shakti, everything is possible. And that Shakti is the woman. So on this note, I would like to share that Bharat Jago, Nari Shakti Jago. And when we are able to do that, our India, the Bharat, which is all about Bhav, Rag, and Tal, is going to awaken to becoming one of the strongest power in the world. It's not about power to suppress somebody. Power comes when we enhance somebody. So let's join together women all over the world and raise our voice to bring about the gender equality in public governance, in politics, and see how we build a stronger nation. Each one, if we support one another, if we encourage one another, I guess leadership, which is all dormant within us, is going to be surfaced, is going to be something which is going to be transformative for not just yourself, but for the country, for the nation, for the community, for the whole of the world. On that nation, I would say a nation which is built up by Shakti will always be in Shakti. On that note, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Nari Shakti ko pranam. Thank you so much for this opportunity to bring out my thoughts on the importance of women in democratic leadership. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sujata Singhi. Your powerful impact has left me speechless. And I now then require help from Caroline ma'am. What are your views on this? And let me introduce Caroline ma'am. She is the founder of the Life Foundation, which has brought all of us here together. Over to Caroline ma'am, please.
Yeah, good evening, all the eminent speakers and my dear friends
family members, I'm delighted to join with you on this platform and raise our voice and make the world hear our voice. And we want to end the disparity of women, gender, especially we want to have the gender equality. Our topic today is women in politics. As Sujata ma'am said, women need to be filled in all in politics, means in parliament, in Lok Sabha. We want their number to be raised. As ma'am said, if women in politics are high, then only we can see the policies applied in a better way. So thank you very much, Sujata ma'am, for giving us good insight and views and expressing your great thoughts, which are very much required. And let us show our ability to the world that women is no less. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline ma'am. May I now move on to our next speaker? And she is, let me introduce her. I can see her online. She is Professor Dr. Madhvi Bose, founder of Smart Classes, personal development mentor, author, and soft skill trainer. Welcome, Madhvi. Over to you, please.
Thank you so much. And what a crucial topic which has come up with. And that's a real, Women's Day celebration with the Women's Week and bringing a development. So every day I admire Rajarao sir and Caroline ma'am for this changes. I don't know how the world is changing, but we are literally changing because of this, because it is the required topics which should be discussed and implemented. So women in politics, when we talk about politics, it is usually defined as the activities associated with governance of a country of area, especially the debate between parties having power or activities aimed at improving someone's status or increasing power within the organization. Now, when we talk about women in politics, following questions rise in your mind, right? Why women in politics? Does it make any difference? What kind of women should be in politics? And as female are like major part of our population, thus the need surely our comes up, and there should be female representative in each phase of society to purely represent their thinking, their demands, and for their welfare. As defined earlier, politics plays a vital role over the globe, especially politics has an impact on the life of every individual residing under its areas. Thus, women should be given a prominent position and support in this field. The women who have built in leadership skills and decision-making power also knowledgeable and understanding and should participate in politics. This should make sure in society is free of gender discrimination and right of every individual are fully secured. The vision should be bringing practical changes. Neither the chains of dictatorship or nor of fetches of oppression can drown the forces of freedom for long. How many of us, when we asked or somebody has asked to us that we want to be in politics, and we said, no, it's not a good area that you should be there. But I believe that it is always says a Rajniti, and when it comes to politics, so they also have that right to follow that democracy. I believe that if I could see when there's a majority part, so we always find a husband, life partner husband plays a main role. Wherever on the poster we see lots of females, but no, they are not playing that major role which is actually required. Once if they entered into it, and truly without even any nepotism or a generation breaks or because of husband, all because she herself enters into it, so she can bring a great, she will able to bring a great change it. So for me, a better democracy is democracy when women do not only have the right to vote and to elect, but to be elected to be participate in the better democracy, to be the part of politics. So let's not think political as it more disadvantageous. We are the one who can make it more clean. It's our country, and it's our politics where we can go and just bring the change. And I believe there are no number of countries where there, when we talk about the political thing, issues and democracy. So there we find it out that we really find out that who is authentic, who is educated, who is perfect for this job, political party. So here it should be in the same manner. But until and unless we people won't enter into it, it might not get changed. So let's do it together. I believe that our first, not the last, or any mission should be there. That once we should be there, and if anybody comes to us, at least let's encourage, and we can say, yeah, you can be into that. That's not even I will straightforward say that people say, no, it's a garbage. Do not enter into it. But let's not do that. We are the one who can change into it. So let's make it more like a diamond. And if a women should enter into it, so they have motherhood everywhere. Even she tries or not, but they are always like, if I see in history, if I go to history, so all the females who has really entered into the politics, they always say, like, if you accept me like a mother, I'm going to appreciate you as a son or daughter. But if you don't see me like that, so it might change. So the changes brings like this, because it takes they think that motherhood is in her, and she has that power to change, and then she just not use her mind, also heart. So let's do it together, and let's make politics more like a garbage to diamond. So thank you so much for this crucial topic. I really loved it. And I believe that I myself have understood from this that it's really important. And thank you once again for this amazing opportunity, Raja Rao sir and Caroline ma'am. You are the true inspiration as usual. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madhuri. It was always a wonderful session with you, and the insights that you have provided are very much valuable to us. Thank you so much. And moving on next, may I invite Dr. Anar Mehta, founder, Shri Bharat Foundation, Degree in Social Work. Welcome, Dr. Anar Mehta. Over to you.
Hi. Am I audible? Am I audible, Deepa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Raja Rao ji, Deepa Chaudhary, Caroline ma'am, for inviting me to this wonderful event and wonderful topic, which is very close to my heart, which is women in politics. Women's leadership in political spheres is shown to be socially beneficial and is a matter of women's right to equal opportunity, as Dr. Sujata Singhi told. And is a matter of women's right, that means equal opportunity and access. While in the Asia Pacific region, women political participation has increased since the Beijing Platform for Action in 1995 was formed. The region looks at behind the global trends. Women's parliamentary representation in lower or single house in the region is only 20%, whereas sorry for the misinterpretation. Whereas behind the global trends, women's parliamentary representation in lower or single house in the region is only 20%, where the global average is 25%. I think that's very, very less. And when we are talking about UN SDG 2030, I think the women representation and gender equality is not very well presented. Though there has been progress over the past 25 years, there is still much room for improvement to reach the 30% threshold. Sub-regions face different challenges with regards to women's political participation. For instance, while East and Northeast currently has the highest representation of women parliament, the rate of the change has been slowest. If the current rate of annual change is sustained in North and Central Asia, would be fine only when sub-region needs to meet the 30% threshold by this 2030, right? Though there are different patterns across the region, all countries may consider the strategies in this brief to stimulate women's political leadership. I may be off screen, but I am online. There is growing recognition of the untapped capacity and talents of women and women's leadership. Over the last 2 decades, the rate of women's representation in national parliaments globally has incrementally increased from 11.8% in 1998 to 17.8% in 2008 to 23.5% in 2018. Some regions have seen particularly dramatic increases, such as Sub-Sahara Africa, where in the last 20 years, the number of women in parliaments has risen from 11 to 23.6%. And the Arab states region, which has seen an increase from 3.1 to 17.5%. Total global representation is still well below the 30% benchmark, often identified as the necessary level of representation to achieve a critical mass. A considerable minority of legislators with significant impact rather than token few individuals, not to mention falling short of women's representation as half of the world's population. The full and equitable, please listen, my sisters, the full and equitable participation of women in public life is essential to building and sustaining strong, vibrant democracies. According to the meaningful participation of women in national, local, and community leadership roles has become an important focus on global development policies. Still, some may ask why it matters of women become political leaders, elected policymakers, or civil social activists. Why does the world need more women involved in all aspects of the political process? Women's political participation results into tangible gains for democracy, including greater responsiveness to citizen needs, their environment, increased cooperation across party and ethnic lines, and more sustainable future. Women's participation in politics helps advance gender equality and affects both the range of policy issues that are considered and the types of solutions that are proposed. Even the research indicates that whether a legislator is male or female has a distinct impact on their policy priorities. There is also a strong evidence that as more women are elected to office, there is corollary increase in policy making that emphasizes quality of life and reflects the priorities of families, women, and ethnic and racial minorities. In the words of the National Democratic Institute, which is NDI, Chairman Madeleine Albright, Women in Power can be counted on to raise the issues that others overlook, to support ideas that others oppose, and to seek an end to abuses that others accept. Further, the NDI, which is National Democratic Institute, 35 years of work in over 100 countries around the world, we have found that more than women tend to work across party lines. That is number one. Be highly responsive to constitute concerns. Number two, helps secure lasting peace over their countries, encourage citizen confidence in democracy through their own participation, and because of their empathetic nature, which is very important. They, as a political women leader, prioritize health, education, and other key development indicators which are very, very important for the country's growth. Women's engagement is crucial and is important to recognize that women are not homogeneous group. Depending on whether women are young or older, educated or uneducated, live in rural or urban areas, they have different life experiences that lead to different